Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Kashaf. I'm a student of M8. My roll number is 33. My presentation topic is the research hypothesis and it is submitted to Dr. Amjad Ali Arain. So let's start. Introduction. A hypothesis basically explains what researcher expects to happen and it provides clarity to our research problems and research objectives. It also enables investigator to start his research. It basically leads to interpret results, drawing to conclusions related to original purpose. Moving on next slide, that is definition. Two definitions are mentioned here. I'll read out one of them. A hypothesis is a tentative prediction or explanation of the relationship between two variables. It implies that there is a systematic relationship between an independent and a dependent variable. Next slide is meaning. What is meaning of hypothesis? Few meanings are mentioned here, but I would like to add some more. In ordinary context, a hypothesis means mere assumptions or suppositions which are to be proved or to be disapproved. This was in ordinary context, and in research context, a hypothesis is a formal question that is intended to resolve. Then it depends on us to resolve our problems or to resolve our research. Next is when to use a hypothesis. So hypothesis is basically used when a researcher is not able to predict answer to his question. Then the first theoretical approach researcher does, that is to test his hypothesis or to make a good hypothesis. Next is importance of hypothesis in research. It provides a bridge between theory and reality. Hypothesis is link between theories and actual practical research. Hypothesis also provides understanding to the research about what is expected from results of the research study. And a hypothesis suggests which type of research is likely to be most appropriate, and it also determines the most appropriate research designs and techniques and data analysis. It provides objectivity to the research activity, also directions to conduct research such as defining the sources of relevant data. Hypothesis also provides link between theories and actual practical research. Moving on next slide. It is contribution of hypothesis in making research. Now its contributions hypothesis make in research. It provides, first main point is it provides clarity to research problems and objectives. It also explains and predicts that which type of research design researcher is going to use in his research. It indirects the research study or process. It also identifies the population of research study that is to be investigated or examined. Next is characteristics of good hypothesis. What makes a good hypothesis? So a good hypothesis should relate it to the problem. It should be clear and precise. It should be testable and it should be specific and simple. And our next slide is about sources of hypothesis. On based of when we are making a hypothesis, first we need to observe things. Only then we can make a proper or a scientific or a good hypothesis. The first thing we are going to observe is our environment, our literature, and from personal experiences. Next is there are two types of hypothesis. One is null hypothesis, another one is alternative hypothesis. So null hypothesis. Null hypothesis is usually a hypothesis in which researcher or the experimenter will always try to disapprove or discredit. Like answer in like the null hypothesis, the answer of any statement is always negative. Negative means answer will always come in no. For example, there are three of the examples given here. I like to tell one more example. Like teacher pays more attention to students when he is organized or he is planned schedule or syllabus for students. Answer will obviously come in no, because teacher doesn't needs to pay more attention on students when they are organized. So alternative hypothesis. Now what is alternative hypothesis? Now, alternative hypothesis. It is hypothesis that describes the researcher's prediction that there is relationship between two variables. For example, there is a definite relationship between family's income and students where the student studies. And few more examples are given here. Now, what a good hypothesis should have? Good hypothesis should be written in a clear language. It should be practicable. It should be falsifiable. Thank you so much for listening. Allah Hafiz.